evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're here meeting tonight. It's Tuesday, August 22nd, and we're here to discuss, this is a community meeting to fight the changes at Union Hospital and partners plans. There's an agenda here. If you'd like to come grab one, and we have petition letters. Please come up and sign a letter. This will go to the governor and to the Attorney General. Will be presented to the Department of Public Health. If you have family or friends that you'd like to take a stack of these, or an organization, please feel free. I'll just reprint. We're going to be spreading these all over the city and stores as well, and distributing them at houses. And I'd like to quickly introduce Councilor Ward 1 Wayne Losey, who is here tonight to support the community group, and also Representative Wong is also here tonight. Would you like to say something?
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here. And I know that we should have more people here, and I think that in the future we will. We just have to get the word out there. And, it's very important for Lynn and Saugus and the surrounding communities that we have a full-service hospital. And I hope that they rethink of it, partners, and give us the full service hospitals that we want and need here, especially with the population we have in Lynn. And even though I hear that they say that it'll be easy to get to Salem Hospital, but there's always traffic. I don't care what they say. Traffic is always going to be there. And when it's life and death, we don't want to. What is a life worth? And that's why I really want to have a full-service hospital in Lynn. And I'm here to give you people support. And I'm going to try to get Saugus involved also. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Wong. I know we're well represented when it comes to Union Hospital. Representative Wong and I have been in close contact since the beginning of this debacle, we'll say. Partners may not certainly feel that way, but I know that we do in the community, and we need that hospital. And I'm not going to drag out any long dissertation on this, but thank you for all of you for coming out and caring, and I know there are many more that feel the same way as you, and we're going to do everything we can to derail their plan, and we need to keep Union Hospital as a hospital. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Wayne. Now, my name is Katarina Danis, and I'm a community activist. I'm also running for state rep, but this is more important at the time, so I'm not campaigning. We're going to start with, this is an open public meeting. I should mention that we're being watched by viewers at home live on LynnCam, and we're also being recorded by Lynn Happens. So, we want to attract more people to the cause, but we're also not going to give away our toughest strategy points, as we have plans that we're going to hold on to for the public hearing. Now, there were public hearings here, and there's a public hearing here and also at North Shore Community College, where this room is filled with people that actually yelled and screamed at partners. And I've heard many people say that, well, we've already spoken up and no one's listened. See, that's part of the strategy. We weren't talking to the right place. What's going to happen next is Partners is going to file a need of determination And we need to form a 10 taxpayer group. It could be more than 10 people, it could be more than one group. The more groups, the better we are at fighting them as more than one entity. And this will give us an opportunity to give our arguments in a public hearing in front of the Department of Public Health that is actually making the determination for the hospital changes. So we actually have a chance to argue this. Now, I met with someone from the previous battle when we were losing Lynn Hospital, and they gave me some advice. I also have some other research I could talk about later, but first, to get started and organized, I have a community sign-up sheet. Now, the 10 taxpayer group, as I mentioned before, gives us, the community as a whole, a power to have a say in arguing the plans before the Department of Public Health. If anyone is interested in becoming part of this 10 taxpayer group, the requirements are to list our name and address, and if we're representing another party. And each 10 taxpayer group will have one person as a representative, which will receive the communication, the notices from the Department of Public Health. I'm going to pass this around, and in the yellow highlighted column, just check if you'd like to join the group. If not, how else would you like to help this cause? We need help distributing flyers around the city. I had a petition booth at Stop and Shop, and 50 people in an hour signed letters. And the letters are going to be more effective than the online petition. The online petition, over 600 people have signed it so far. And someone left a tip. I also am the admin manager on the Facebook page, Lynn Needs a Hospital. So someone left a tip there, and I like tips, because they said if we keep raising our voices, if we keep raising the petitions, the governor will initiate an investigation. Now, this is just a tip. I don't know if this came truly from the governor's office, but indeed, if we do raise thousands of letters, and send it to the Attorney General and the Governor's office, I am hoping for an investigation into this matter, because I don't only want the hospital to stay, I'm sure many of you also want it to improve, because the services were stripped away slowly over time, and we're looking into that, if that was intentional or not. So if you can distribute flyers, or if you can contact others to get involved, or if you have some time to put into research and statistical research, or if there's some other way you can contribute, I've left the column for you to fill out. So if you'd like to join the group, this is the most important reason why we're meeting tonight. And if for those who are watching at home who wish they could be here but cannot, and you'd like to join the 10 taxpayer group to fight partners, please contact me. My phone number is 617-418-3009, or email me desk@katarina.info. And the information will also be on the Facebook page, Lynn Needs a Hospital. So I'll be passing this around. If you could please let me know your interest. This is an open community group. I welcome anyone to share their thoughts. If there's a strategy you wish to share, please come right up to the microphone. We're being recorded by LynnCamp, so I just want to remind everyone that whatever it is, it'll be best heard if you speak right into the microphone. Or you could just, if you don't want to share it live, you just say it from your chair. Now, we're going to develop arguments also for future submission, and I've been working on a few research, and I know there are a few others. I saw in the last meeting they had piles of paperwork and statistics. Mr. Toomey, you actually suggested the 10 taxpayer group at the last meeting. Was there something you want to come and add to that?
Well, the one thing is that I think that if it's possible, we should
Can I see a show of hands who's interested in joining the 10 taxpayer meeting group? That's great. We have well over 10 people, and I do. Yes.
One other comment. I think the 10 taxpayer group, again, I think it would be good to actually meet tonight and discuss and exchange ideas. And because if we're going to go in as a 10 taxpayer group, we have to be sure we're all focusing on the same thing. I know that some people spoke very deeply and heartfelt discussions about their feelings about behavioral health and mental health. And, you know, I didn't want to interrupt them when they were talking at the meetings that we had. But the fact is, most of them were saying that we have a great need for increased mental health and behavioral health. And the fact is, the plan that Partners has in place is not going to increase any mental health or behavioral health services. All it's going to do is move them all into Lynn. It's going to move them from Salem, it's going to move them from Lawrence Memorial. But the plan doesn't include adding any services to what's being provided at Union Hospital for people from Lynn and from the North Shore. We're bringing people in from outside the county and bringing them to Union Hospital. The police chief has expressed some concern about what's going to happen if these people are in trouble and they receive 1 day's worth of service and then are released into the community. You know, it's not easy to get from Bedford to Union Hospital. So that's one of my concerns.
So the main goal of the community 10 taxpayer group is to maintain a full-service acute care hospital for the general public's interest, and so that would include general care, and also, and for those who are listening, or if there is anyone here tonight, there's the school department expressed concern that there's 2 schools nearby, and they might take a different approach. I heard that some political leaders might form their own 10 taxpayer group, but for those others that are watching, if you have other concerns, that because this community group is going to focus on the general public, so if there's Parent Teachers Association that want to form their own 10 payer group and just talk about the danger and safety of this use near 2 schools, that's another approach. I could help set that up for you. And there's also, if anyone wants to form a senior citizen taxpayer group, then there's concerns there. There's different ways to break this up, and also for the other communities outside of Lynn that are listening tonight, there could be a Lynnfield group, there could be a Nahant group, there could be a Wakefield group in Reading. I know those cities use Union Hospital and Saugus and West Peabody. So I encourage other groups to form, and please feel free to contact us so we can communicate in parallel if we're all just going to have information to. Yes?
Okay. Daniel had mentioned Lawrence Memorial. I work for Hallmark Health. Okay, we're part of Lawrence Memorial, Melrose Wakefield. And I did hear that with Lawrence, but then I found out today that they are, and I did read it in the paper the other day when I was online, because I don't go on my computer all the time because I work on it 24/7 during the week. I did see in the paper that when I saw Lawrence, I knew it was our hospital, and we were told that they were supposed to keep the psych unit over there. But see, we own Malden Hospital. Donald, that's what you need to have, the CEO, Hallmark Health, okay, and Partners, to buy that hospital. It's still owned by us. But to have them put the site to that hospital, that's what has to be done. That hospital is just sitting. It's been closed for 8 years now.
I'm confused.
Wow.
What hospital is
You didn't
closed?
say.
Malden. I'm part of Hallmark Health. It's the umbrella name for Melrose Wakefield Lawrence Memorial. Just like Partners is the umbrella name for to work for them years ago, back in the mid-90s, when it started to form.
So
When Concord started to form.
are you for the changes at Union?
No, I want Union to stay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even go to my own mark to where I work. But if I gotta go to the ER, I'm gonna go to Union. When my mother was alive, excellent service. I could call them 24/7. Then they sent to the Salem. I would not recommend that hospital.
Thank you.
Well,
There's another avenue that I want to take, and I don't know if anyone wants to join me with it, but I'm planning on filing a complaint with the Attorney General, of conflict of interest, with a couple parties. And so if anyone's interested in following me with that pursuit, just feel free to let me know. I'll let you know in private what information I've gathered.
And Randy was just told that they need to use the mic if they're going to talk, because it's not in.
That's if they choose to, because this is half strategy, half sharing with the public, and, okay, if anyone wants to use the mic, feel free. If you don't have to. Yes? Did some? So for those who just walked into the room, we have a sign-up sheet. If you're interested in joining the 10 taxpayer group, which we will form a group to fight Partners' plans in a public hearing before the Department of Public Health. Partners had hearings here, and really that was just a waste of time because they have their business plan. It's a business plan. It's not a community plan. And we were talking to deaf ears, I believe so. So the real people that matter in this battle is the Department of Public Health. We need to save our energy and send our complaints there. So this is why we're forming a 10 taxpayer group. Yes.
I was also going to recommend too, since we're contacting the governor and the attorney general, I think we should also include the commissioner from the Department of Public Health in these conversations. And the commissioner is Cheryl Bartlett.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any comments before?
Harry, I have a question.
Yes.
Representative Wong, do we have a petition circulating or anything right now? Or-
We have, well,
I know there's the online.
there's the online, and also, thank you for reminding me, for those who just stepped in, we have, we're doing heartfelt letters, petitions. I'll be the main person who will be collecting these, and we'll be copying these to the Department of Public Health, to the Attorney General, to the Governor's Office. The online petition will also run concurrent with this, and this will be, will count along the way that you're signing a petition that's like general text. If it comes from the heart, the Governor will give this more attention, I believe. So we're going to focus on leaving these in stores, in organizations, senior centers, churches, doors. And if we can get as many letters as we can, as many heartfelt letters, then they'll hear our voices. Because yes.
Governor Patrick is on the raise funding for mental health care by 1%. How can he be sympathetic to our cause when that's not enough? And I have another issue. It's probably politically incorrect, but Linda's been trying to get rid of this negative image for years. How is it going to look if our only hospital we have is a psychiatric hospital?
Wait, so that's a good question. I'm going to bring a map closer. So this was brought up before. We'll be the only city in Massachusetts with a population over 60,000 without a full. We are a city of 90,000, but we'll be the only one over 60,000 without a hospital, a full acute care hospital. These darker shades, this is, Lynn is a dark shade, this is a dark shade, and that represents a figure of, this is a density status from the census 2010, we have per square mile 7,500 people. And then the other areas are greater than 2,000. So they're taking away a hospital from the densest area, and they're keeping hospitals where there is not that much density. The other problem is we're also hosting, Lynn has 5 high schools, many more schools in the surrounding communities, and it's also servicing the suburbs to the north. So this is information like this we're going to bring up to the public hearing before the Department of Public Health. Also, I brought this up before and I posted it online, so it's no secret to partners if they're watching. This is a FEMA flood zone hazard area map, and the access to Salem Hospital from Route 107 has 2 flooded points, and the access from 1A through Swampscott has 3 or 4 flooded points. Union Hospital has 2 access ways that are not flooded, typically. So it doesn't make sense strategically in an emergency why they would choose to put a huge dense population in danger in an area where also this area, the sea level rise will be increasing over the years. So that's one of the arguments we could make. So we're just going to layer the arguments in their public hearing. So if you have any more ideas, any more strategies, I've got a pile of information. I've met with someone who fought to keep Lynn Hospital, and they gave advice, and their advice was we're going to stay this and fight with it to the death, because if we want our hospital, it's going to be a tough battle, and this is what's happening. This is a business model, and it's probably going to be approved in the because they're ahead of the game than us. We're dealing with $1 billion industry, and we're a small community group. But that doesn't mean we can't stop this. And that is one of the problems, one of the arguments we're going to raise is most of the community does not know this is happening.
And does not even know what is going to be in our hospital.
And this is why.
Most of the people does not even know what is behavior.
Right. So this was supposed to be a strategy meeting, but I've got plenty of information and arguments, but I'm going to be very selective on what I'm going to share tonight, because we're choosing to keep this open to the public. This is running live on Lynn Cam right now, and Lynn Happens is recording it, because I had a booth at Stop and Shop, and half the people that came up to the booth did not know that we're losing the hospital. And this is very sad. It's very tragic, and so I want to wake more people up to the issue. I want to bring more people in to help. So it's not a done deal. When they say it's a done deal, they want us to turn away. That's the first tool. There's a process. Right. There's a process. We're all going to lose our minds, but I agree with you. We all agree with you. Now, if you're with us, if you want to fight this, I encourage you to. Now, here's the thing with their meetings. We were arguing at the wrong meeting. We were arguing to the wrong people.
Because when we have the meeting, yes, we have every month a meeting, with the CEO, with HR. And when I said, oh, you are thinking only of you, why don't
a public hearing, and the important parties that have not heard us yet is the Department of Public Health. And that is, save all that energy you have and save it, and we're going to give it to them when they open up a public hearing before that. This was a dog and pony show that they had for us. Whatever we said here was a waste of energy. Save it all. Get mad, right? Get mad and save it to give it to them, because I hope you understand me. There's a process. There's a process we have to follow.
What are you doing leading this fight? What is our politicians? What's the mayor doing? What are they doing? They're the ones that should be fighting.
That's a good question.
I mean, I'm very disgusted with the fact
I'm just going to
that
say,
the council the other day didn't even know what's going on.
Which counselor?
I'm not going to tell you.
now there is, there,
No, really, I was surprised.
now I am disappointed in a couple counselors, I'm not going to mention their names, that say, oh, it's a done deal. Those ones you don't want to pay attention to. I have spoken to another counselor who said that they will consider forming their own 10 taxpayer group as a political party to fight partners' plans, because nobody wants this. Nobody honestly wants this. So let's pray that they do that.
Is the mayor? What is she doing?
I don't know. I wish she spoke up. I wish everyone would call the mayor's office and ask her to speak up for all of us. I highly encourage that.
Along the same lines, we have the public hearing here before the city council, and I had the minutes of the meeting, and the city councilors themselves asked about 10 questions that they were promised they would get answers for. One of the questions, and I'm not going to get into specific councilors which said which, but one of the questions was to request of the city solicitor's office a ruling about any commitments that partners had made in terms of keeping Union Hospital as a full-service hospital. And I just wondered if any of the questions that the city councilors asked and were promised by Mr. Norton that they would get answers, if any of those promises have been kept, because that was one question. There were other questions concerning whether the city had any other options. You know, and I asked that question, does the city have other options? Can partners just arbitrarily, I mean, it's a residential neighborhood.
No, they cannot. They cannot just do what they want. And here's
That's
why.
what I figured, so they should be using city permits.
Partners is accepting grant money. You know, this is our tax dollars. We have a right as a public to make a comment how these tax dollars are used. And this is why I'm going to file a complaint to the Attorney General, because the Attorney General has the power over the nonprofits.
This man is right, that
Yes.
what is the city, that's what I like. What is the city's position? Is the city taking a position and saying, we are strongly opposed to this, and this is what we're going to do? I mean, I don't know how the neighbors feel, and I don't want to speak for the neighbors, but I'd be in favor of taking the property by eminent domain and doing something else with it. Maybe it's a spot for the parent family.
Excuse me, Mr. Tooby, you said taking it by eminent domain. The city is looking for places to build new schools. There's the perfect spot. Take it by eminent domain, we need a new Pickering Junior High School. Why not say, you're gonna turn it over, let's go in and take it by eminent domain. People on
Take
North
it by
Line,
eminent domain and find a hospital that's willing to run a hospital.
you took property on Brookline Street for the new Thurman Marshall School, why can't we do that?
And if they start that process, it'll take years. And they'll, by that time, they'll find somebody else. That's a process like that. Take it by eminent domain. Even if you can't win, you're gonna tie it up.
Yeah.
Other cities tie things up so long, other cities can do it. Why can't they?
So
That's the problem here. The city of Lynn does not want to step in and handle things the way they're supposed to.
So here's a little bit of information. When I spoke with someone who fought the first battle to save Lynn Hospital, they said, you'll you'll see leaders from certain organizations step up in the beginning and say they're against this, and then at the end they'll say they're for this. Maybe that's because, you know, certain funding is going into that agency. Just keep an eye on who says what in the beginning and who does what in the end. Also, back to your original question, Mr. Toomey, you said, what were their promises? I've downloaded their articles of merger, and there's some promises in here, some covenants, and I think we're going to use this in the public hearing. We'll talk about this in the 10 taxpayer group, whoever's interested in joining. So we do have that and there's a bunch of other information that we have. And there's more to gather, so if anyone's interested in helping me do some more research.
Why did they say that they were going to do it by the end of this month? The takeover was going to take place by the end of this month.
They're going to file, Partners is going to file a need of determination with the Department of Public Health. It's what that's required of them before they. But they've been making. I've heard from nurses at the hospital that they've been sneaking in changes. They've taken away the catheter. They've added services that don't belong there, and so we're going to bring this all up in a public hearing. And it doesn't just start from this year. If we go all the way back to when they first operated, they've been peeling away the services. And I remember, I think you said it in the very first hearing. They took away the birthing center, and we don't have cardio care. So as part of our goal, I also want, I hope that this 10 taxpayer group also gives demands to the Department of Public Health what the community needs. We're a dense community of 90,000 people plus surrounding regions, and we're going to tell them these are our services. And this is what and I encourage everyone to tell them what you think those services are, because this is also a survey. This is also conducting a public survey of what our needs are in the community. And this is going to be very helpful in that arena.
Another point I want to bring up is there are already 2 hospitals running a psychiatric hospital in Lyndon. You look up Beverly Hospital or Leahy Clinic, they have psychiatric treatment. They have psychiatric treatment in the Bay Ridge and Lyndon. There's 2 hospitals already running psychiatric treatment in Lyndon. So we're going to have, right now, we have the 2 biggest of the North Shore. You have Bay Ridge and you have Lyndon Union Hospital. It has 37 beds, more than the same or anywhere else in the North Shore. We have the 2 biggest already.
And you know what the problem is? Lynn residents have to wait in line sometimes to get those services because we're servicing the whole North Shore. Yes?
Do you know how much Bridgewell is involved with this? I mean, they're a great group and they're gigantic, but is there any way of them being behind some of this, wanting to expand?
Yeah, if you want to look into it, because I have a meeting with them tomorrow.
There is one group who is not happy, but see, this is an issue again that people are afraid to speak up because I guess Partners has promised the community health center money over the course of many years to operate. So. And also, who knows how many other agencies. So again, in the beginning, that's all I'll say for right now. Yes?
I have a question. Really, we need to ask the city council on this. Is the Demoulas deal on Federal Street done deal? Because that is one of the best locations to put a central hospital.
You know, it would be nice to have a central hospital, but for right now, that's just so.
I mean,
let's
because
focus on
what they should do is
safety.
give us an alternative.
We gotta focus on the existing infrastructure. Yeah, we need to focus on the existing issue. Right now, we have the ability to talk in a public hearing for Union Hospital. We can't leave that arena.
Continue an emergency care at Union Hospital. But how an emergency care can function when you have nothing
Eventually, there won't be one.
The tax is going to be for non-medical group. Independent non-medical group, that is going to be, I mean, it's common sense. So, CC is washing their hands, oh, that's fine, you guys still have an emergency care. Yes, emergency room when? And how?
Yes, those are all the questions. I agree with you. I want those answers too. Yes? Anyone? Yes. Sorry.
Yes, I went to Union Hospital for the first time in a while, quite a while. And I was admitted for 4 days. First they thought I had a mini stroke, but I didn't. But then, first Lynn Hospital, now Union Hospital. What's next? I mean,
And, the other issue is, they shut down the public rest homes. They're depleting the resources that this community needs the most. We have senior housing complexes, not just for senior citizens from Lynn, but from other cities. And so we have a great need for that senior citizen community and the schools, and then we're taking away a hospital. It just doesn't make sense strategically, 0 sense. So we're gonna hammer them with these statistics, these numbers, and hopefully, it's gonna be a long battle. It's gonna be a tough battle. They're gonna tell us that this is a done deal, walk away, but I'm not doing that, and I hope everyone else who signs up for the 10 taxpayer group doesn't either, because it doesn't hurt to speak up. We're not losing anything by speaking up. We're just...
What we gain? We speak up. I speak up so much in every meeting that we have a hospital. And I just wonder why I speak up. That's my satisfaction. I don't need anything else.
Well, I hope you join our group, because we're going to use the truth and facts.
I'm not sure exactly if it's not any conflict or either, because I am not either, I am neighbor.
Okay.
And I am here, I came here because I just found out that you guys are not here.
So you're working
Nobody
there?
knows about this. Why?
So I encourage those. We're also fighting for those who can't speak up, because I understand some of the workers there are probably afraid that they'll lose their jobs. So we are here to speak up for the whole community. If you can't join us, that's fine, but you can help us in other ways by distributing flyers, telling people about the petition. And we're here to speak up for the whole community. We'll gather information and send it to the right place. This is what we're here for.
Why do they want to put it in the get more patients here? Why can't they put it in the town there that already has two hospitals?
I already get the idea of to put it. Centennial Drive, Centennial, the former cancer center, and MTA. I even told them.
Now, there are alternate plans in how to deal with this
I
type
told
of
them it's a
treatment.
big space there, huge. Brand new. What for?
Centennial Drive, they have that cancer center. It's called
Exactly.
Small
What's
Leaks.
Centennial Drive, you guys? This is
So
the
they
place to
can
work
drive
there,
But you know why they don't try to put it in any other town? So you would never get away with it.
Just exactly.
Well,
Well,
actually,
hospital. So we are
City
thinking
College,
without
City
care,
Mayor.
without work, without anything.
So, what I didn't know, because I was too young to know, and I was told by someone that Lynn Hospital, before it actually folded, they had converted it into a mental health care facility. And anyone remember that? And that model failed. So, if that model failed, why are they trying to redo it in Lynn? So that's another argument. They already tried it, I heard. So we just got to look at the paperwork and go back and look at those issues that we presented. So, the 10 group. So, I have a list going around. I don't know where it is right now, but it's coming. It's right behind you. So, for those who are new in the room, there's 10 taxpayer group. Please sign up, and we're going to fight partners' plans in the public hearing. And if there are those listening out there who are just tuned in, feel free to contact me, 617-418-3009, and I'll add your name and to the list. Need your name and address. we have more than 10 people, we can have more than 10 people in one group, and I encourage other groups to form as well. Oh, sure, 617-418-3009. It's also on the petition paper, and my email is desk@katerina.info. That's KATERINA.info. Now, before we